When I look back on that day, the memory still feels unreal, like a moment caught between dreaming and waking. The sound of my son's footsteps on the porch after so many years apart was something I had quietly stopped believing I would ever hear again. Life has a way of stretching families thin, pulling at the threads until you wonder if the bond can survive. But sometimes, despite everything, love finds its way home again. I raised my son, Daniel, in a small, peaceful town in Ohio. It was the kind of place where neighbors waved from their porches. Summer evenings smelled of barbecue and fresh-cut lawns, and winters brought people together as they helped one another clear snow from the driveways. His father, James, and I were simple people with simple dreams: work hard, raise a good kid, and give him chances we never had. Daniel was our only child. From the beginning, he was bright, determined, and just a bit stubborn. He spent his childhood playing baseball, sketching superheroes, and joining his dad on weekend fishing trips at the lake. For many years, our life felt almost picture-perfect, but as Daniel grew older, the struggles of adolescence slowly settled in. Arguments began over curfews, grades, and what direction his future should take. James wanted him to choose a practical path: college, a solid job, stability. But Daniel dreamed far beyond that. He talked constantly about California, about filmmaking, about bringing stories to life on a screen. I tried to keep peace between them, but the tension only thickened. The summer before Daniel turned 19, everything escalated. One night, I heard raised voices coming from the garage. "You don't get me, Dad," Daniel shouted, his voice breaking. "I don't want to spend my life stuck in this little town, fixing cars like you. I want more," James answered, his tone firm but trembling. "And what's wrong with fixing cars? It kept this family going, Daniel. Dreams don't pay bills. You're not ready for the world out there." "I'll prove you wrong," Daniel snapped. "I'm leaving." The next morning, half his room was empty. He'd packed what he could, left a note on the kitchen counter, and driven off. I stood there with that note in my hands, my tears blurring the ink. "I need to live my own life. Don't try to stop me." James was furious, but beneath the anger, I could see his heart shattering. I hoped Daniel would call, that he'd return after a few weeks, but weeks turned to months, and months into years. He sent the occasional email, small updates about the odd jobs he picked up, the cities he drifted through, but nothing personal. No birthday calls, no holiday messages. Every Thanksgiving, the empty chair at the table felt heavier. The silence between James and Daniel became its own burden. James drowned himself in work at the garage while I clung to the little hope I had left. Some nights, I would find him sitting in Daniel's old room, holding a baseball glove or staring at the posters still taped to the wall. Whenever I suggested reaching out, he would shake his head. He made his choice, he would mutter gruffly, but I could see the hurt he tried to hide. The years slipped past, each one widening the distance between us and our son. Then one crisp autumn morning, with the trees glowing golden red, I heard a knock at the door. I opened it and froze. There he was. Daniel stood on the porch, taller and leaner than I remembered, a beard shadowing the face I once kissed goodnight. His eyes held a heaviness I didn't recognize, but they softened the instant they met mine. He gave a small, unsure smile. "Hi, Mom." For a moment, I couldn't move. My heart pounded so fiercely it hurt. Then I rushed forward and wrapped my arms around him, holding him as if letting go might make him vanish again. "Daniel, you came home," I whispered, tears slipping down my cheeks. He hugged me tightly. "I missed you, Mom, more than I can even explain." When James walked into the living room and saw him, the air thickened. Daniel straightened, his smile fading. "Hi, Dad." James's expression was unreadable, his jaw clenched. For a second, I feared he would turn away, but instead, he gave a small nod. "You're back?" It wasn't warm, but it wasn't rejection either. And in that tiny gesture, I felt a crack of hope open. We sat down at the kitchen table, the same spot where so many arguments had erupted years ago. My hands trembled as I poured coffee. Daniel looked around, taking in the familiar details: the faded curtains, the family photos lining the walls, the dent in the table from when he dropped a baseball bat as a kid. "It feels strange," he admitted, "like nothing has changed except me." "What happened, Daniel?" I asked softly. "Why come back now?"